Byrnecast. 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 Hell yeah! Alright, welcome to the yeehaw! Alright, we got a Byrnecast. Number 7 is coming to you.
Number 11, actually.
Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast. Welcome to the Byrnecast.
Alright.
Hell yeah! Welcome
yeah.
to the Byrnecast.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello out to AJ in the UK. Yeah, this is Byrnecast 11. Haven't been on for a few weeks. A lot's happened. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to cherry pick a few things. I just saw the South Park special, the pandemic special. I thought it was really good. Yeah. What was the best thing? I don't know. Cartman's 6 feet stick. Stay 6 fucking feet away, mum. That's right. Everybody should have a stay away, mum. I'll stop there with that one. But what else was good? Cartman loved COVID. Cartman was in love with COVID. No, he was in love with social distancing. He had a social distancing song. I think that's what happened. I saw this a couple of weeks ago. It's been out for a little while now, but I was really hanging to see it, to see what Trey Parker and Matt Stone had gotten up to with that show. I think it's one of the best shows on TV. I hope it's coming back for a full season. I don't know how they're going to shoot it. I saw a little clip of how it was made, and it was crazy. They had like these packages that they sent out to all their tech team. They've got like 30 people working on it, I guess, and they're all sent like giant coffin like boxes with a computer and all the gear they needed, and some people had to have little servers in their house to get enough power, which is interesting. So I'd be curious to know what their computer setups are like in terms of CPU power, GPU power. Yeah, I don't know if they're running the new Mac Pros. Maybe they're... I would suspect they're running the iMac Pros, the sort of all-in-one kind of package. But yeah, I'm not totally sure. Anyway, yeah, don't smoke Stan's dad's weed. It's pretty gnarly stuff. Otherwise, you'll get a moustache. Yeah. It's not a good looking moustache. It's not a straight one anyway. Yeah, so but if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. You've got a treat ahead of you. It's a 1 hour special, which is even better. I think they're usually like 40-minute episodes, 45 minutes, so that's great. Anything I didn't like about it? I don't know. I started reflecting on Stan's dad being a little bit of a doofus kind of man character, and I'm a bit sick of seeing those representations everywhere in the media, everywhere in TV, in films, but particularly in advertising. The doofus man, the doofus male, who's his wife knows better than he does, and he can't see what an absolute ass he's being. So but we're not talking about The Simpsons here, with Homer being a ridiculous joke of a man, a total attack on masculinity. I fucking hate The Simpsons. I think they suck. I mean, I can't believe I watched it for all those years thinking that I was getting anything out of it. I mean, it's lame in terms of a satire. It's pretty weak. Anyway, that's my feeling at the moment. Maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll soften up a little bit on The Simpsons. I mean, it has had some good moments over the years, but this whole Homer thing is a whole thing that needs to shift within the culture. This whole attack on men, this non-stop attack on men just pisses me off, man. And I want the Solo Man back. Can't I fucking have the Solo Man back? Those great ads. If you're an Australian, if you're in America, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Watch the Solo ads on YouTube. You got to work hard to be a solo man. Great messages in those advertisements. You got to work hard. Yeah, you got to train properly. you're not gonna finish first unless you put in the effort. I mean, that's what the Solo Man ad, was all about. It's something men can relate to and get behind. And they just lost the plot with the new Solo ads that were completely a complete attack on that idea of climbing to the pinnacle. What men are designed to do. Men are designed to be pushing themselves to be exceptional, not to be an average doofus who can't construct. I think it was like a dad constructing a kid's robot toy, and he did a half-assed fucked up job. So yeah, fuck that, man. Oh, Thorn, hi, it's Lyndon. Oh, hey, Lyndon, I didn't realize you were here. I didn't, yeah, hi, I just sort of snuck in. I sort of, I like Sunkissed. Have you looked at Sunkissed? No, I haven't looked at the Sunkissed ads. I don't know what's going on with those. But, yeah, thanks for... I'm not drinking soft drink anymore. I'm done with soft drink. They fucked it up for me, the Solo people. Fuck that. Lyndon's on the Sunkissed. There you go. But what else am I gonna have a little chat about today? I should I'll get someone else to talk about this COVID special. I think it was good, and I want to get into a bit more detail about that maybe next week. We'll see. And in terms of other TV that's upcoming that I like, Brave. I don't know if I like it. There's a new British TV series called Brave New World. And yes, it is an adaptation of the classic novel by Aldous Huxley that came out a long time ago. Aldous Huxley was an insider and had kind of insider knowledge of what a certain segment of elite scientific kind of Illuminati type people were planning. I don't know how to describe that. How was he an insider? I've got to check that out now. What did Aldous Huxley actually have? I'm going to look that up. Aldous Huxley. Brave New. Who was he? I think he was a good writer, but a lot of this world was not imagined. This was a vision that had come from something else, a certain type of elite group of people were interesting, a kind of new age utopia. Anyway, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll check that out. Maybe I'll give you a little report about that next week, or check it out yourself. Find out who Aldous Huxley is and tell me exactly who he was connected to, who he knew, what he was about. Also, recently, Eddie Van Halen passed away, very untimely death. Apparently, he'd been sick recently, quite intensely again. He'd had cancer for... he had cancer 20 years ago or something. He had throat cancer and had surgeries and whatnot, and I thought that it had sort of righted itself, but I guess it had come back and got into his brain and maybe some other major organs, and just sort of gotten him faster than anybody that maybe even knew him suspected. So he was what an innovator, what a complete original, who sort of listened to his inner voice and let it construct a style and sound that hadn't existed before, not in anybody I'd ever heard as a guitar player. He was apparently a big fan of Eric Clapton, and of course he blows Eric Clapton way out of the water. He's way more interesting and innovative and stylish and, melody wise, I'd say he's better in every way than Eric Clapton, obviously. But, all someone like that probably needed was a starting point. And then he could have, he obviously built on top of that, and he was a very playful guitar player. That's what I got from him, you know, that he would just go, okay, that's the blues, and now I'm gonna freak out on it. And yeah, like what a wonderful individual. And I think that's what you got to do as a guitar player. You've just got to be playful, have fun, learn the basics, and then, you know, not worry about anybody else. Just do what you're gonna do, and, you know, play to fucking 11, man. Get amps that go to 11. I mean, fuck that. He played really loud. I got to say that. When I saw Van Halen in Sydney at the Stone Festival, that was the loudest gig, the loudest performance I'd ever heard at that festival. I guess the loudest gig I've ever been to. I mean, he was fucking loud, man. The bass was super intensely loud. So, you know, I think I was up the front at some point, went to the back, and the stadium was vibrating with that bass. So, yeah, I'm glad I got to see Van Halen before this happened. I don't know if there's going to be any more Van Halen shows. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And yeah, there's been some great tributes. You can find the tributes from people who knew him, and he seemed like he was a really, really nice guy. He seemed like a really good-hearted guy, and then I think that's what's sad about it. He was a really good guy. He'd be like, if you're a musician and you're out there and you want to hang with people, you'd want to hang out with Eddie Van Halen. Like, what a cool guy, what a nice guy. Very generous person. Apparently would give people guitars and amps that he liked. You know, really good friend of Dweezil Zappa's, I've heard. And did some really cool things for him, like gave him a guitar for his high school talent show or something. So that, you know, what a nice thing to do. Moving along. Computers. I hate computers. I am sick of dealing with computer technology and the disappointments that GPUs and operating systems and drivers and all this shit creates. So it's boring stuff, but yeah, my own little journey has taken me to Mac land again. I'm dealing with the old Mac Pros with a kind of modified Mac Pro from 2010. So I need to run 2 operating systems off it. So I've got an older operating system that I don't think is 64-bit and a newer one that is. And finding a graphics card to try to go between them has been a bit of an issue, but it looks like the NVIDIA cards can do it. But it's just not ideal. So if you're thinking of getting Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve, say, I'd get a PC. I would not get a Mac computer unless you have particular attachments to old Mac software, or have software that you want to run, older software that is. So that's I'm not going to get into it. I could, but I just I'll do it another day. Yeah. Other than that, Philip K. Dick is still on my mind. I probably talked about him a lot of times on this podcast, but I've got through Ubik. That was a trip, that story. And I'm on to the Maze of Death, which is supposed to portray a harsh off-world colony. It sounds a little bit like Total Recall. That was an awesome movie. I think I've read the book. I'm gonna have to get that book as well. It's a Philip K. Dick book. So it's exploring again the difference between reality and perception, which are great things to delve into, to broaden the mind into the possibilities of what is there and what isn't there. That's why I'm liking it at the moment. In the world of sport. we're coming up to the end. The end. Well, the AFL NRL end, that is. It's down to the last 2 games, I guess. We got 2 games? 3 games. 3 games to go in each. So there's 4 contenders at the moment in the AFL and NRL. I can't quite pick it. I'm hoping the Tigers win in the AFL. I think that Port Adelaide has a strong chance of winning this year. In the NRL, I think it's the Panthers. But, it's very difficult to pick it. I think the final will be Melbourne Penrith, and I think Panthers will win, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah. So that's that. The world of NRL, AFL. It's kind of interesting that that it's actually happened this year. That they're in hubs away for like 100 days. 100 days all up in, I guess, Queensland and New South Wales, because Victoria is officially a no-go zone. It has been contaminated. It's contaminated with a highly toxic, lethal gas that makes the air completely actually, it's just COVID. Bit of COVID down there. It's completely uninhabitable. It is a nightmare. Don't go down to Victoria. You cannot go to Victoria. Seriously, you can't go to Victoria. They had a crazy lockdown there. I don't know if it's still going, but you cannot go more than 5 kilometers. And then the police are fining people for just going about their business. Awesome, yay. I think Victorian police are creating a new history for themselves. They were always the good police force, weren't they? And the New South Wales was historically kind of the bad ones, with a lot of corruption and stuff like that. So, this is not a cool situation down in Victoria. Getting back to sport, it was cool to see the Tour de France running, and that was friggin' awesome to watch at from 9 to 2 every morning, 9 to 2 every evening, and watching that time trial with the 2 Slovenians battling it out, and Pogačar coming from whatever it was, a minute and a half down, and winning the Tour de France in that time trial. Just as awesome as you want it to be, as tense and fascinating and interesting. Watching him just powering along like an Energizer bunny, and everybody changing bikes, and the bike change being so important, going from a time trial to a road bike so that they could climb the hills a lot better, and Roglic's team kind of fucking it up a bit, and then Pogačar's team getting it just spot on, and he's just powering, and he's got so much intensity and passion in his face, and watching like this young kid, this 21-year-old kid, win the whole race there in that time trial. It's awesome. I like time trial more than regular cycling. It's just like, get this super aero crazy looking friggin' bike, and you're just on your own, and you just got to power. You just got to put in, like, you got to grind. I love the time trial and the Tour de France. Friggin' awesome. Like, one at a time, no wind assistance. Off we go. Let's get it done. So that's good. While I'm on cycling, the Giro d'Italia recently, Julian Alaphilippe lost right at the finish line with Roglic. I think it was Roglic. Roglic just passing him as right at the line. It was a photo finish, but Roglic was powering on his right, and Julian Alaphilippe couldn't see him. He put his arms up to accelerate rather than powering on, and he lost that stage. I don't know how that feels. To ride for hours and hours and hours and hours, throw your arms up going, yeah, all right. He looked cool, man. Jesus Christ pose, great facial expression. And then on his right, this guy just grinding, just powering his way to the line, stealing it from him right in the last millisecond. So have a look at that. Have a look at that video. That's a good video to watch. Tragic for Julian Alaphilippe. I mean, great cyclist, but a very embarrassing situation. So that's that. Just want to wrap it up today with health and wellness. I've just started taking Slippery Elm. Check out Slippery Elm if you are someone who gets a bit of reflux. Tons of men like 40 and over getting reflux. Everyone's kind of getting reflux. It's like, do you have some Asamax? Do you have some antacids or something? We're all just chewing antacids and everything. Slippery Elm is really interesting stuff. It really works. It stops the acid from wreaking too much havoc on your esophagus and vocal cords and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. So I'm really psyched about this Slippery Elm stuff. I think it's good for digestion and things like that as well. So yeah, trying that in the evening, and I'll let you know how that goes. Other than that, why didn't I have a guest to chat about these fascinating areas? I should get guests, yeah, about these areas of interest. So I'll look into that. I'll also start making videos of these things, and I want to get some music happening. So I'll see if I got incorporating some music next week. But have an incredible week wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having an incredible Sunday. Having the best day ever, as David Wolf says. Doing your thing, being an original like Eddie Van Halen. If you're young and you're into guitar and you don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, you need to put down the guitar and go and listen to some Van Halen right now. So rock out. Have a great week. Catch you next week. Bye.